Hey, YouTube followers, I'm with Kira, and this.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say my last name.
Oh, that's cool. That adds more insight to the video. They're like, what are y'all doing? So this video is going to be about the word grind. Kira, is being a creative a grind? Is it being an artist a grind?
So,
what do you think?
I think at a certain point it becomes a grind when creating is the way that you're eating, the way that you're sustaining, yourself and your family. I think that's when it becomes a grind. But then I feel as though when a lot of people are younger and finding their creative selves,
Generation Y.
that's when they do it, just strictly for themselves because that's what they love to do. And even though you may be grinding and still creating your art, and you may love it, it's like I feel like it embodies something different than what it did in the past because now you're doing it just to make some money and not necessarily to,
And you open up another question. You keep doing it. We only have 1 minute left.
Yes.
But the next question that I hear that I want to ask you is that we can see that in all our artists. Mm-hmm. Like when a musician first comes out, you see this great, like Kendrick Lamar,
mm-hmm.
that's the artist.
Mm-hmm.
This album, like everybody said, oh, that's crazy, it's crazy. But now, will he still be doing the same thing in 5 years? You see what I'm saying? And I mean, we've seen it over the years. People come out, except for the very best artists. The very best artists, they tend to Prince, Stevie Wonder, they stay on a plateau. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of times, the first art that's done by the artist is the best artist, the best work, I meant to say. And then when they get all enmeshed, same thing with Beyonce, Rihanna, right? But when they get enmeshed with society and what culture says you have to do as a musician.
Yes.
Go ahead. Go
I do agree that, I feel like once people sign those contracts, they have to, you have to have your album out by this time. You got to make this kind of music for these kind of people. But then, I don't know, I'm kind of losing my track of thought.
That's fine. So what I'm saying is, and I think you're undergirding what I'm saying. They get lost in the creative process because this is what we're talking about. We talk about the grind makes it a grind. The culture makes it a grind, but it's not a grind. Before you came, you were doing this poem, and you were like into this poem. You were creating. Now, if somebody sees this poem, or you become a songwriter, right? And they say, okay, Kira, I need 10 more poems similar to that, and I'm going to pay you $15,000 for that.
Yeah. So it's like this pressure on the artist to create a certain song or a certain poem that will be accepted by society, basically. And when before they were given this offer, it was more so, okay, I'm going to put my heart out on these pages, and I'm going to do what I need to do in order to express myself and be happy with my creative work. And I don't want to say that's completely lost to people, like with people like Beyonce and like Rihanna and stuff. I just think it manifests itself in a different way. You become a different person once you reach like a certain amount of fame or once you start to get a certain amount of followers. So now it's just different.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think that you just have to create differently.
You create for the culture.
And maybe they're growing. Maybe this really is their growing process. Maybe this is them creating the work that.
Because for instance,
so I just wish we had something to compare it to. I wish we had two Beyoncés, one that made it and then one that didn't make it.
Well, we do. We have them all over the world.
Compare their work.
We have them all over the world.
True.
And and you see that there's so many independent artists and musicians. Why? Because they don't want to sell out to the culture or the music industry. Because the music industry, and we're going way off track, but the music industry has been raping our people, taking our music, and even stuff that we don't know.
And that's why sometimes I think that, sometimes I'll just be thinking, I'm like, man, so should we even get paid for our art? You know what I mean?
See,
and then it gets deeper. And then it gets deeper than that. Then it's like, should we get paid for anything? Shouldn't we just instead of depending on money, shouldn't we just trade our goods that we have with one another?
Maybe she should be a lawyer. We're gonna pick up on the next one.
Okay.
Right.